Good morning, everyone. We are getting ready to go live. Well, we are live for episode 9 of Resource Tuesday. And today we're going to be featuring Gray for glioblastoma. So I am going to go ahead and get Kate, who is the founder of Gray for glioblastoma, added in. So give me just a moment. I hope everyone's having a good day so far. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining us for
Thank you.
episode 9 of Resource Tuesday.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we are excited to have you and share with the world the wonderful work that you all are doing. And so, as I mentioned, this is episode 9, and we are featuring Kate, who is the founder of Gray for Glioblastoma. And this is a nonprofit organization that focuses on raising awareness and funding for glioblastoma multiforme. So, Kate, before we jump into all of the goodness that you all have going on, can you tell our viewers a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Kate. It's so great to meet all of you guys virtually. I am a student at University of Texas. I'm a sophomore. I'm studying education and business, but I have a lot of background in event planning. I've worked for a bunch of wedding planners, and I love planning events. So our organization is an organization that raises awareness and funds by hosting large community events. I am from the DC area, born and raised, and so that is where we're based out of, and that's where our first event will be occurring.
Well, how exciting. Washington, D.C., that is where you're from. And here you've taken your passion for event planning and you've transformed that into this organization to benefit families who are affected by glioblastoma. Can you tell us, like, what is glioblastoma multiforme? We hear so much about breast cancer, lung cancer, and the list goes on, but not many people talk about glioblastoma multiforme. So can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, I totally agree. That's why I created this foundation, because it doesn't get as much awareness and funding as we would hope. It is a aggressive brain tumor that is super resistant to conventional therapies. The cause is unknown. The symptoms are the teller. So as soon as you start experiencing symptoms that can range from headaches to seizures and everything in between, that's when you go to the hospital and they tell you that you have a brain cancer, a brain tumor. And so it's crazy how unknown everything is. There's no cure either, and the standard of care is tumor removal, which is tumor resection, and then chemo or radiation, depending on the individual makeup of the cells in your tumor. And then beyond that, even then, patients don't, well, only 25% of patients last longer than a year. So it's
Kate.
prognosis. There's also the ability to enter clinical trials and stuff like that, but there's a lot of, I wouldn't say restrictions, but there's a lot of different aspects for each clinical trial that you have to, like, you have to be a certain age to be in this clinical trial and a different age to be in this trial. And they're also very difficult to read and analyze and figure out, which is part of the reason that we like to share clinical trials on our website and our Instagram and stuff to give people an easier understanding.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for giving us that background information. So there is a question that came through, and it is from Bridges of Gold, and it is there an age group that this type of cancer affects typically?
So it can occur in any age. There are children that have been diagnosed with glioblastoma. So it can really impact any age, but it is most common in adults over the age of 65, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for transitioning to that question, and thank you, Bridges of Gold, for that question. That's a really good question. Everyone wants to know who's affected by this primarily, and what that does is it helps them to be aware, right? Because we can't really figure out what's going on if we aren't aware of the symptoms, the age groups, and different things like that. So thank you for highlighting that age range there. You are very knowledgeable about glioblastoma, and there's a reason why. So can you tell us the inspiration behind the organization and how you started pivoting in this way?
Yeah, so almost a year ago, my dad was diagnosed with glioblastoma. It came as a complete shock. He was perfectly healthy, active, in his 60s, and that's not the image that you think of when you see cancer.
Mm.
And so it was a complete shock for everyone. When he was diagnosed, it was really heartbreaking for all of us to, look up glioblastoma and just be hit with all of the things that you see when you look it up, all of those nasty statistics and difficult prognosis and the uncertainty, unawareness. And I for a while contemplated. I knew that there was something that I wanted to do. There was something that I needed to do, as someone who's always taken action. And I kind of capitalized my experience in event planning and decided I wanted to host a gala event. I've been to a couple of charity galas before, and I think people always really enjoy them because it's not only a time to mingle and have fun and bid on silent auction items and stuff like that, but it's also you leave feeling so much more knowledgeable about the cause. And I just think it's a really great way to get people to engage in the cause.
Absolutely. There's no question about that, that's a wonderful way to get people engaged, but also to make them more aware. A
Yeah.
lot of times we are unaware when it does not affect us.
Hmm.
And when it hits close to home, especially like in your instance, it was with your dad. You love him, you guys rallied around him to give him that support, and that is what puts you to action. And so I am super excited for you to share with everyone what you all have planned coming up in the event space world. But before we transition there, let's talk about your website. So your website is great for glioblastoma.com. When you go to the website, it is lots of wonderful information on the homepage about statistics. Can you kind of tell viewers a little bit more about what they can expect?
Yeah. So another thing about our foundation that was really important to us was having everything that a patient, a caregiver, a family member, a friend could need when hit with the news of a diagnosis. So on our website, which I'm looking at right now, so if I'm gazing away, that's why.
No worries.
So we have all the information about glioblastoma, including facts that we found from credible health websites, and just the statistics and the explanation of what glioblastoma is, how the cells reproduce, and everything like that. And then we also have our mission, and all of the information about us, like our brand sponsors and in our press, different articles that we were featured in and stuff like that. And then I think one of our most important sections is our resources section,
Yeah.
which includes glioblastoma news that we try to update every week. So basically that consists of current clinical trials that are going on, clinical trials that have just produced results, clinical trials that are recruiting currently, to give the people that have just faced a diagnosis the resources to look into these clinical trials, because they are daunting to look at. The language is definitely difficult to understand to the average individual. And so providing people with a summary of what the study is and how to join, and then making it super easy for people to just click a button on our website and access the information. And then we also have a section for patient resources, which also features Fighting Cancer Today, that gives some resources to help navigate the diagnosis, because it can feel isolating and it can feel like a lot when you search cancer and you don't know where to go from there. And so with you guys, we have your support groups, comfort kits, and financial services on here, but we also have resources like the National Institute of Health, which provides the clinical trials, Live Strong, which is the YMCA's fitness program and stuff like that. And we're always looking to add more resources. And then lastly, we have our events section of our website. And that includes our first event that's happening in May, on May 19th in the DC area. And so we just want to be able to give everybody the resources that can help them in the easiest way possible. So having it all in one place, having the ability to learn about glioblastoma, donate, find all of our social media, get involved. There's a section where you can fill out a form to partner with us or volunteer with us. And then also just access to all those resources for anyone impacted by glioblastoma.
Thank you so much for that comprehensive overview of the website. And again, that website is greatforglioblastoma.com, and it has everything that Kate talked about. We are very intentional at Fighting Cancer Today about partnering with other organizations that want to present a comprehensive approach to support. And the reason why is because, as Kate already highlighted, there's so many other different things that consume the brain after the diagnosis. And so having a website or a resource that a family can be directed to that has financial assistance, support groups, comfort kits, the list goes on as to what a family would need, or even just items that work well to support people through different phases of treatment. We want to make you all aware of those organizations. That way you have a one-stop shop, and our website will have the information that Kate mentioned today for Great for Glioblastoma on its page. And there's also a link in our bio that features all of the different resource Tuesdays. And so this information will be up there for you all really soon. You already mentioned your event in May. You mentioned your website. How do people stay connected with you? How do they help you all grow? What is it that we can do from a community standpoint to make families more aware and our communities more aware of the need for more research and funding for glioblastoma?
Yeah, I mean, definitely sign up for our newsletter. When you access the website, there's usually a pop-up that comes up where you can enter your email. And there's also at the bottom of the homepage, there's a place where you can press subscribe and you can fill out the email there. And we will send news and updates to our subscribers to keep updated with everything. We promise not to spam your inbox. They will not be sent that often. And of course, just sharing our social media. Our Instagram is Great for Glioblastoma. Following us on LinkedIn, which is just the name of our organization, Great for Glioblastoma. And our Twitter is Gray, Gray, the number 4, and then Glio, Glio. Great ways to stay up to date on everything that we're working on, and also a great way to get the word out there that we are we have these resources to support people that are battling glioblastoma or affected by a diagnosis. And because although it's a pretty rare brain cancer, it is the most common malignant brain tumor. And I meet people all the time that say, wow, I think that's what my uncle had. I think that's what my whatever, my friend, my mom's best friend. And the conversation wouldn't have started unless they knew about it. And so just being able to share all of our resources with every community so that the people experiencing it don't feel alone and feel like they have a community of support through our Instagram, through our website. We try really hard on our Instagram to just promote a general feeling of hope and wellness and making people feel supported, but also making sure people are taking care of themselves, promoting that self-love, self-care, and giving people hope. Because although the statistics are daunting, we share the statistics in an effort to raise awareness, to spread awareness, but we don't want people to be defined by those statistics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, something that you mentioned that really resonated with me is about getting the conversation going. It's so true that when people hear the word, they hear cancer, they hear glioblastoma, breast cancer, whatever that may be, and they know that you have a personal connection with it, they then feel more free to share their experience, which then helps us to work together to help others who aren't embarking on that journey so that they don't have to have the unnecessary hurdle that another family or we ourselves experience. And even though glioblastoma is the most aggressive and deadly type of brain cancer, there is no doubt in our mind that with the efforts you guys are putting forth, the funding that you're going to raise for research, that one day there's going to be a cure for that, and more families are going to be equipped to join that fight and overcome it. And so, Kate, I can't wait until that day comes. I know you all just received your 501c3 status, and we at Fighting Cancer Today was so excited to get that news. So congratulations to
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank
You are so welcome. We look forward to featuring you again in the wonderful work that you all are doing. And again, it is Gray for glioblastoma. Don't forget that name. They are getting ready to do some impactful things. So be on the watch for this fantastic organization. And we thank you for being featured on episode 9 of Resource Tuesday, Kate.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Have a great day. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.